Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a no dies rocker card using the new Hunkydory members free gift Perfect Pansies. Now before I get into the video, I would just like to ask that if you're not already subscribed to my channel, you hit the subscribe button and help my channel grow. And if you enjoyed this video or find it useful, please also hit the thumbs up button. So as I said, I'm going to be using Perfect Pansies. This is the brand new members free gift from Hunkydory. I did a flip through of it recently on my channel and I will link that in the description box of the video in case you missed it. But you can absolutely use whatever you have to follow along. So for my card base today, I'm going to be using the Centura Pearl cardstock from Crafter's Companion. This is 310 GSM, so it might be a little bit overkill for what I'm doing today, but I really like this cardstock. This is in the colour Lilac, and I have a load of different colours in this cardstock and I've been hoarding it. So I thought I'd take the opportunity today to grab some out and make a card with you. So that's going to be for my base. So there's my cardstock, and then from the Perfect Pansies pack I have picked the You're So Sweet topper sheet because there's circles on there and I need circles, and I've selected this piece of the cardstock. It's not one of the foiled ones, it's just one of the regular A4 ones, and I thought it'd work really nicely for what I'm going to do today. So that's what I'm going to be using. Put those to one side. Now I've said this is going to be no dies, and it is. So today I'm going to be using this. This is by X-Cut and it is a circle cutter. Now there are lots of different ones of these on the market at the moment. You don't have to use the X-Cut one. You can use any of the ones that are out there, or alternatively, if you don't even have one of these, you are able to use anything round in your house. So you could draw around and cut out from a tin of beans, a dinner plate, a upside down cup, a mug, you name it. You can find something in your house that enables you to follow along with what we're doing today. So even if you don't have a circle cutter, not to worry. Now if you haven't seen one of these before, I'll really quickly run through it with you. On the back there is, under this little protector, a blade, and this is what cuts the cardstock. There's also replacement blades stored in the cutter. Then it's a very basic, very easy to use piece of kit. This end will stick down onto your cardstock. This is your sliding scale. It's got centimetres and inches on it, so it doesn't matter what you work in, you'll be able to use it. This bit untwists and moves up and down the scale to the measurement you're after, and then you just twist it back on. And that's basically it. So you do need to make sure you've got something protecting your work surface to use this, hence I'm working on a glass mat, but you can use whatever you would normally use to protect your work surface. So let's cut our base out first. I'm going to work in inches today, and I'm going to slide this down to 6 inches. And then I'm just going to tighten it up again. Okay. Now we're going to be placing this piece on our cardstock first, and we are going to roughly position it where we think it needs to go. Before you apply any pressure, before you make any cuts, what you need to do is start moving this arm around and making sure that you can move it freely, but also that it stays on your cardstock the whole way around. What you don't want to do is have any time when the blade is not on your cardstock. But also, if you're like me and you don't like waste, you're also going to want to be checking that you're using as little of your cardstock as is possible. So you kind of need to play around a little bit to find the best position you can. That will enable you to use as little cardstock as possible and cut a circle and move the arm freely and stay on the cardstock. So I think that's going to be okay. So now all I need to do is hold this part down and apply the pressure here as I cut my circle. Now I'm also trying to hold the cardstock in place with my hand as I go whilst cutting. You can hear it cutting, or you should be able to hear it cutting. There we go. If you're not convinced, you've got a clean cut all the way through. Before you take your hand up, before you release the pressure, you can just re-go over your cut line. As long as you haven't moved it, you're not going to do any damage. There we go. So there is a 6-inch circle. I still have a nice size piece of cardstock left. I could even trim that down and use that if I wanted. So we're going to put that to one side for now. We're going to put the blade cover back on the blade to avoid any accidents. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half and burnish. So I'm going to fold it in half and just pinch slightly to make sure that it is all matching up. So I'm pinched all along, and now that I'm happy, I can grab my bone folder and burnish that. So that is the base of my card. So now we're going to bring in the A4 sheet, and I'm actually going to cut this with the circle cutter, and this is going to be my layer that goes over my base. So I'm going to move my base to one side for now. I'm going to grab my circle cutter, and this time I'm going to move this down to 5.5. So there's 6, so that's 5.5, that's 5, 4.5, 4. So I'm going to move this down to 5.5 and then tighten that back up again. And then I'm going to take the blade cover back off. Now I'm wanting this part of the border to be used on my base, and I think that will look really nice. So what I'm going to do is get as much of it in as I can whilst conserving as much as I can again. So I think that is almost there. Yeah, that will work fine. So now we're going to cut this one out. So as you saw, I just had a little bit clinging on each side, so I just gave it a little wiggle and it came off. Alternatively, I could have trimmed it with my scissors, that would have worked equally fine. So as you can see, I have a 5.5-inch circle now. I still have loads of that cardstock that I can use on a different project, so I'll put that to one side. Just bring back my base, and this is just going to sit on here like this. Now again, we're going to fold this in half and burnish with a bone folder. Now I have got some cracking here. What I should have done is actually cut this in half and then stick one half this side and the other half the other side. Then I wouldn't have got this really annoying cracking. However, the way this card is going together today, I don't think I'm going to see it, and I can always hide it with an embellishment or something. So I'm not too worried, but I am now actually going to just cut that in half really quickly. Okay, that's the two halves. So all I'm going to do now is use some tacky glue and attach these onto the base of the card like so. Once I've done that, I'll be right back. That's all now stuck down front and back, and actually when it's standing up you can't see the crack marks, but it is going to be covered by the next step anyway. The next thing to do is to bring back our Centura Pearl cardstock, and we're going to cut another circle from this sheet. So this time we're going to cut at 5 inches. I'm just undo my little nozzle, move it down to 5 and tighten it back up again. And we'll repeat the steps from before. So there's our 5-inch circle, and this one we are not going to be folding in half. This one will be going straight on to the card like so. What we need to do now is to grab our topper. For the purpose of today's card, I'm going to be using the cake topper, and what I really like about it is that it's already got gold foiling all around it, so it doesn't really need any mats or layering. And this is going to go straight onto the 5-inch circle. So I'm going to grab some glue and I'm going to adhere that down, and then I'll be straight back. That's now adhered to the 5-inch circle. There's a really nice even border all around. So the next step is to attach this to our base. I'm just going to bring back the base. And what we want to do is to make sure we have a nice even border each side. And then we're going to only glue on the bottom section of the back of our topper. So if I grab some glue, and I'm just going to add a little bit down here, and I'm not going to go massively far up. I can always add some more if I have not gone high enough, but I can't really take away if I have put too much. So we'll just pop it on here. Got a nice even border each side, and then before this has dried you want to make sure that when you stand up the card it's nice and straight. You don't want it sliding off to one side, and if you're using a wet glue you do have time to check that, because it does give you some wiggle room if you need it. But that is standing nice and straight. The image is also quite straight, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to leave that to dry for a minute. Now I do feel this needs a little something else, so I have these lilac flowers that I have made myself. I'm going to work in odd numbers and I'm just going to place these around the card. Now the great thing about this is that little mistake with the cracking of the card can then be hidden with a little flower. And there you have an almost finished rocker card. Isn't it beautiful? And the reason it's called a rocker card is when you stand it up, you can make it rock from side to side. So this is great for all occasions, all age groups. It just works. It's just a little bit of fun and perfect for these hunky-dory kits. Now the great thing about the rocker card is it does give you a lot of options for where you can write a message. So if we flip it onto the back here, you could, before you adhere the 5-inch circle to the base, stamp a sentiment on here. You could also do some stamping on the inside so that they open it up like this. But what I'm going to do today is actually put the sentiment on this section here. So I'm just going to grab some white cardstock. So there's my white cardstock. I'm also going to grab in my circle cutter again, and I need to cut a 5-inch circle from the white cardstock. So it's already set to 5 inches because that's the last circle we cut. So I'm just going to really quickly cut the circle and then we'll continue. So what we're going to do now is just fold this in half and gently pinch again. And once we've got a rough line that we can work to, we're going to cut this in half. I'll just bring my trimmer into play to do this. Just line the line up in the tracks. And we'll cut that in half. So now I need to stamp a sentiment onto this circle. So I have my stamp platform, I have my ink, and I'm going to use this stamp set here which came free with the magazine, and I'm going to use "You Are Blooming Lovely, Have a Fabulous Day." All that's left to do is to adhere that onto the layered section of the base. And now we have somewhere where we can write our message to our recipient. And there we have our finished card. I absolutely love rocker cards. I think they are so much fun. They are really simple to put together and they look really, really effective. Let me know what you think of the card. Are you going to give it a go? And do you have this kit? I'd absolutely love to know in comments. Thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you've enjoyed the video and found it easy to follow along to. If you have enjoyed today's video or found it useful, please do hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button. It really does help my channel grow and reach more people. If you enjoy videos using the Hunkydory members free gifts, or you like the inspiration, do keep an eye on the channel because I'm going to be doing some more videos using the kit. I will be back soon with more videos, so until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.